Hi everyone, so it's Saturday night right now. I just finished my second stream, and I want to talk a little bit about the season theme because we got some chance to play around with this and we found some really exciting stuff. So what we did is we set out to get 10,000 stacks, and this was kind of like, an arbitrary number, but it was a funny goal. And Norfa and me, after we were done blasting with our group, we just went to T16, and what you can do is you can share the stacks back and forth. So the way this usually works is you have the season theme proccing every 90 seconds, you get this meteor effect or snowball or whatever, and you can stack up some kills in between those 90-second procs. And the kills will decide how strong the theme is, so it buffs the damage. And after that it resets to 0 and you go again. But what happens when you have multiplayer is that when someone is far away and he has a different timer, you can actually share the stacks back and forth. So as you know, if you're, I don't know, 4 or 5 screens away or so, maybe even less, it's not very far. You're out of range of this combined proc in this kill streak radius basically. So what you can do is, one guy just joins the Greater Rift later, or he just joins the game later, if you're farming T16, and then you have different timers. And this is what we did, and we just went back and forth for, trying this for like an hour or two or so. And well, we got to 3,500 ones, and then like 3.3k ones, and like 2.5k ones, because there's some really buggy stuff where sometimes you get like 2 procs in a row after like 10 seconds apart or something. We don't really know what's causing this, but this is happening for some reason, and this kind of like screwed us over at some point. I was just like going back to town, and then suddenly Norfa had the other proc, and I came back and it was reset or something. So it's maybe there is some pattern to it, but we haven't found it yet, and we're probably not gonna try again. It was kind of like just a fun thing, like a fun idea that we tried out. It doesn't really matter in T16 if you have the season theme or not. You're one-shotting everything anyway. But we wanted to one-shot everything with the beam or with a twister tick. Just some hilarious scenes that he wanted to produce. But yeah, it didn't really work out for the 10k. But even at like 1k or so, you just blast everything, so it didn't matter anyway. And we were just trying to get this number. But what is really interesting about this is that in Greater Rifts you can do some really crazy stuff with this. So I tried also to see if there's like some interactions like we had in season 19 where you could get kills from outside the Greater Rift into the Greater Rift, but this seems to be actually quite watertight. So when you're too far away from the source of the kill, then you don't get any stacks. So when you teleport to another zone outside of the Greater Rift and dot them up and go into the Greater Rift, you can't get stacks. And just in general, whenever you enter a Greater Rift, everything resets, your timer, your kill streak, and so on. So this is fine, but you can use this interaction with the 2 players running back and forth in Greater Rifts as well. So with the stacks that you produce inside the Greater Rift run, you can basically stack them up infinitely until the end. So this is the same principle. You just have one guy join a rift a little bit later, and then he has a different timer, and you just need to make sure that the 2 players are apart from each other, like when one of the procs happens. And then in between the procs, you just come back together, you get a few kills, it shares the stack from the highest person to everyone else, and then you can spread out again. So this is how it works, and like this you can easily get like 500, 600, 800 stacks or so in a full run. And with that, you're easily gonna blast the Rift Guardian. So you're gonna one-shot elites, you're gonna almost one-shot a Rift Guardian, like even the beam can kill the Rift Guardian, and the beam is really weak. We were killing Bloodmaw with like, I don't know, 300 stacks or 400 stacks or so with twisters pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So what is absolutely going to happen is you're not gonna run a Rift Guardian killer on the high tiers, at least not once people figure this out a little bit more and play around this. It's going to be very similar to season 19, I believe, where you have like one guy running back and forth, and you share the stacks back and forth basically, and then you just after like the second proc or so, he's gonna have like 300 stacks and kill everything, including the Rift Guardian eventually. So this is what's going to happen, very similar to season 19 if this is not fixed. It's very gimmicky, but this is what it is. So it's almost 100% identical to what happened in that season, and it's also almost for the same reason because in season 19 you also had it, because one guy always running away with 390 stacks, and then you'd come back after they proc Meteor Shower at 400 and drop their own stacks, and then he would share his 390 back to the other guys and run back again and so on. So this is very similar. And yeah, I guess an oversight, maybe it could be fixed. Otherwise, the format is going to be weird, to say the least. But yeah, this is what it is. So I just wanted to show this here a little bit. And yeah, we can definitely see a lot of clears like this one now. Like we just tried this in like a GR1, but it doesn't matter. You know, the percentage HP is always the same. Like you always do the same amount of damage, doesn't matter what tier. And we were really, you know, making sure that we didn't attack the target accidentally, and we were just like killing stuff with like a few hundred stacks. And you can definitely get those quite easily with this strategy, and this will define the meta for sure. Yeah. So I just wanted to show us a little bit and raise some awareness for this. And this is what to expect when people actually go for the high tiers. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation here, and I'll see you guys next time.